play of the game from way down.
1, 2, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bomb's going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bombstas Dingo gonna find Rainer.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series, where we are now going to see Division D East coming at you between I Must Feed and Frank's Furters. Our teams are all set and ready to go, so I'm just going to hop over, take a look at the standings real quick. I Must Feed currently sitting at tied for second place with 17 points. Frank's Furters sitting at number 7 there with 10 points here so far. But as far as the number of games played here, I Must Feed has played 8. Frank's Furters has played 5, so pretty far behind there on the overall matches played. Got some flex matches to play yet. Just wanted to point that out for when you guys come back and watch this. Map bans here. I Must Feed banned out the Dragonshire and Alterac Pass, and Frank's Furters banned out the Sky Temple and Alterac Pass. I said Alterac Pass twice. I Must Feed banned out Dragonshire and Volsky Foundry. Frank's Furters banned out Alterac Pass and Sky Temple. And then the pick was Battlefield of Eternity. So I think our teams are ready to go. Let me just get confirmation from them, and if so, we'll get this going. Got ready from one side. Okay, we've got a short request for a few moments, so apparently I went through that way too quickly. That's okay though. Did I? Okay, there we go. Turn off the caps lock, turn the number lock back on, because I'm just hitting buttons all over the place here. So we just saw a replay cast between Zul'jin Distillery and Church of Murky. And this one here, I Must Feed is a newer team to the Nexus Gaming Series, although certainly some of the names are familiar. Whereas Frank's Furters is a veteran team. But I Must Feed has been doing really well. They participated in an off-season event, played against some really quality teams in that, and learned a lot. And here they are doing well in Season 8 of the Nexus Gaming Series. Now, coming up later, if we can get these teams to ever play, we've got Piecemeal and Tidecaller Murgles. They're going to be a C-West matchup. And they're actually gonna wait for us if nobody picks up the cast beforehand. Okay, and the game is launching. Let's make sure that nobody has picked that up, just to be sure. Today, the 15th. Not yet. Hey, let's go ahead and take off the co-caster thing. We don't have a co-caster this time. Wonder, do I have a dog picture on this one? I do have a dog picture. Where's she at? Oh, that's not necessary. That's for when I stream my regular stuff. Which, you know, we could do. We can just put Alpha right there. There you go. Way to be a co-caster, Alpha. All right, so we've got the ETC and the Lunara bands coming out here. Interesting way to start the evening on BOE here. Lunara is a good race hero. Not as good as, say, Greymane or Vala, but still pretty good. Greymane going to be the second one here. So a couple of race heroes taken out of play. We've got ETC. What are we going to see next? So Ariel and Deathwing are both still available. They could both get a lot of value on this map. Night Knight coming in saying, let's go, I Must Feed. Purple Heart, Purple Heart. And it's going to be Zul'jin. So So both of the top tier, at least recently, heroes going to be left available, as really looking more towards the map, what heroes do well here, and targeting out some specific bans here as well. And it looks like Frank's Furters, they don't know what to do with this. Do they go for the Oriole or Deathwing? They do, in fact, so it's indecisive picking up the Oriole. Now, does that mean, are we going to see a Deathwing? Do we see I Must Feed pick that up? And I got to switch all the names over here because, of course, for whatever reason, they're on the other side. Looks like we're going to get Vala and Malthael here. So Vala going to be providing that race potential. Malthael, a good solo laner that also can do a pretty decent amount of race. Not great, but better than a lot of heroes there. He does have that percent damage that when it first came out was just absolutely disgusting for the race. Who am I? John Goodman, Lister Fiends, Corix. Oh, I got Corix twice, that's why. Alright, so here's our race. Magic Master, gonna be the Li Ming. Li Ming does a lot of race value here, so whether she goes into the Orb build, whether she goes into the Magic Missile build, or even if she just goes Teleport build for the additional team fight. And there's the Deathwing ban, along with the Rexar ban, so Malthael not wanting to go into Rexar. I think that Malthael does pretty well against Rexar, if I remember correctly. Alpha Best Castor. Castor?
Victory for the Forsaken.
Alright. Miles gonna pick up the Sylvanas here, and they've got the Ana. So, Ana, Malthael. I mean, that's pretty scary. Gonna see the Garrosh here. Okay. I think I'm seeing where this is going. I think I've seen Garrosh v Malthael actually work really well in the solo lane. You just have to change the talents that you take. Raynor gonna also provide a lot of race, again, whether he goes into Ace in the Hole or whether he goes the Exterminator there. And we're going to see Corix picking up the Anubarak. Interesting setup here. All right, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and get a vote set up in chat. Who do you guys think is going to win game number 1? Is it going to be I Must Feed and their nano boosted Malthael? Or is it going to be the Frank's Furters and their double strong frontline with the Johanna Garrosh? Vote in chat now. It's up there. Up there. Up there. Just hit the drop down. Select the team you think's going to win. Hit vote. Provide your feedback so that we know what you think. I probably should have checked to make sure that they didn't actually flip people around. Hopefully they didn't, because I didn't change anything. All right, on the left, it's going to be I Must Feed coming in. We got Lister Fiend on the Vala. There we go. We've got Corix playing Anubarak, Miles on the Sylvanas, Sudden Bears on the Ana, and Malthael going to be played by John Goodman. Over here to the right, we've got Frank's Furters. It's going to be Indecisive on the Oriole. Magic Master playing the Li Ming, Dallying Pig on the Johanna. DJ Cold Cuts playing the Garrosh. And Raynor going to be played by Boggs. All right, so what do we got? We got Wrecking Ball upgrade, Unrivaled Strength, so he's going to throw people farther, do more damage. Power Hungry out of the Li Ming. We got the Swift Sweep here for Oriole. Ace in the Hole for Raynor. And Johanna going into hold your ground, so more shields more often. There's the throw onto Miles here, getting very low, uses the Haunting Wave to get out. Not quite enough to get the kill, but very close. Up in the top, Raynor versus Malthael here. And I expect that at level, I think it's 4? It's either 4 or 7. We'll see this switch around. I think at that point we might see the Raynor and Garrosh switch, depending on what talents they take. There's the throw onto Anubrak. Anubrak getting a big impale, and then Burrow charging in, getting a huge stun onto the full team there, and we see a lot of damage going out onto this team. On the left, however, for our talents, we've got that Monster Hunter going a little bit into the race potential. On a Pale Horse from Malthael, so he's going to mount around a lot faster. The Slumber Shells, putting people to sleep, will now slow them for a few seconds. That's really helpful against, say, a Garrosh that you don't want coming into your team. Speaking of Garrosh into your team, there's the Anubrak throw. And the Burrow charge out. We got the, is it Legion of Beetles, I believe, at level 1? It sure is, getting the additional spell armor for those beetles to soak up some of that damage from Li Ming. And the upgrade for Might of the Banshee Queen here, giving her that auto attack haste and spell damage when hitting with Withering Fire. It looks like the team's kind of looking around. And it looks like I Must Feed has the vote here. 100% of the vote coming for I Must Feed. So either a lot of I Must Feed fans out in the chat tonight, or they just really like this draft. But I don't think you can count out Frank's Furters draft. I think it's surprisingly strong. As we see, Anubrak there, gonna be the first blood. And Anubrak was just a little far forward, right? Like the throw plus the Detainment Strike. Nice easy pickup there for that kill. And that puts Frank's Furters sitting halfway to level 5. So a little bit of an advantage for them here. Sylvanas is going to be able to clear out this siege camp pretty quickly. And all the while, Ana just hanging out here is eventually going to grab that a few seconds before the Immortal spawns. And here we go. Frank's Furters coming down. Looks like they may want to clear this out before they get started on the race. This time Anubrak making it away, forcing Garrosh to throw a minion here. We've got Vala and Anubrak on the defensive here. Vala looking for those Hungering Arrow stacks. Did miss the first one though. And there's once again the throw onto Anubrak. And what do we have from Garrosh? So it is going to be here in for the kill. So getting a kill resets the cooldown. Also increases the damage when he, just from the talent here. Raynor, however, going to get a full rotation from the team. John Goodman going in, did tap, but is still pretty low. Boggs is going to be taken off the map, but that's going to give the race now over to Frank's Furters. So they should be able to secure themselves an Immortal here. First one of the game. Don't worry, Vala. Nobody saw you get stunned by the Immortal. Now, this race is going to pick up pretty significantly once Vala completes that Hungering Arrow quest. And especially if they want to just go burn on the race, Nano Boost onto Vala and that Hungering Arrow double potential out of level 7 is going to be huge. So the Impale going out to stun the team, preventing Anubrak from being thrown there. But it's Malthael who's going to get thrown, is not going to get stunned by the Immortal, but is going to get pulled in by Condemn. The Sleep Dart from Ana, keeping John Goodman just barely in this fight here. And the shield's gone now on the Immortal. Malthael doesn't have a tap. He used it earlier there in that fight where we saw the Raynor kill. And here comes Raynor now. The well going down in the bot lane. Vala pretty low on mana, so doesn't have a whole lot here to engage. Misses the Hungering Arrow, gets thrown and taken out. Vala, the second kill of the game here for Frank's Furters. And I was going to say, I expect them to come down here onto the bottom. Siege camp here. It is going to be the Magic Missiles build here for Li Ming. Gonna go into that Seeker at level 7. And it's just such a wonderful sound. Junk, junk. When you hit all 3 of those, it's just so good. I was hoping she was gonna do a missile on a minion there so we could hear it, but oh well. You can hear it especially well when you're fighting against like a fort or the Immortal or something. It's so easy to land. Okay, there's the throw. He doesn't have enough to burrow charge, so this time Anubrak is going to walk away, and it is into the fray, so he's not going into that cooldown reduction for the Bloodthirst. Okay, so they managed to get the kill onto the Oriole with that. Things happen. So, since Garrosh did not take the cooldown reduction on that, I don't think they'll switch here. Boggs is... Does he have Adrenaline Rush? Is he going to make it? Nope. Malthael on a pale horse, getting out of dodge. Everybody coming up top, looking for vengeance for the kill onto the Rainer there. I don't understand what we were doing there, but it looks like... okay. Li Ming was just too far away. She went up there for that siege camp, and that left something you don't hear often. That left Garrosh exposed. So there you go. Li Ming throwing those orbs out. But right now, this race so far very heavily in favor here of I Must Feed, as the Immortal is rapidly approaching the halfway point. But with Anubrak so very low, they're going to pull back here, give him the opportunity to go tap the well, and Malthael's working on level 10 here in the bottom. So I am interested to see which level 10 do we get from Malthael. Is it going to be the Tormented Souls? It's not. It is going to be Last Rites. So I think we still could see Nano Boost coming out from him, but I think it's just as likely that we see it onto the Vala. So there it is onto the Malthael. It's a little bit early. He gets thrown in with the Nano Boost here. Is going to get stunned by the Immortal, so feels bad, man, as Garrosh is just walking away. And Anubrak may fall to the Disintegrate? Nah, he's going to fall to Rainer. So double kill here coming out for Frank's Furters. And they're actually going to get the halftime, and you see here only 1,400 in... Actually, about 1,350 in difference on the 2 health bars here. And Anubrak coming back up, but I don't know that there's enough time for them. Yeah, they're not going to be able to stop this. Vala wants to try to get extra stacks. Did get one more. And this is visible now. But Frank's Furters is not going to come into it. They're just going to let that go. That's pushing into a lane that does have occasional catapult, so it won't get too far. It's not going to take the fort down or anything like that, but it may do a little bit of damage depending on when that catapult reaches it. Mr. Plow, thank you for the follow. Also Shudatsu, a little bit earlier. And this Immortal has about half of its shielding. Well, had before it just got melted by Sylvanas there and Vala. The blind coming out onto Malthael. So Malthael, like, I mean, it's not a huge deal if he's blinded, but he does. I mean, he still has to get that dot out. Oriole going to be cocooned here. They're looking for the kill on Li Ming. He's not quite able to get it, but he is going to get the consolation prize of a Garrosh. They do also get the Johanna, so both of the frontliners will go down here. But they lose a fort, and the Immortal's going to take out the entire keep wall. Well, the wall and a tower. So a lot of value. I mean, that's a fair trade. Losing your 2 tanks, like, for 25 seconds or so, pretty decent. Now, this is potentially dangerous here. They don't have Garrosh yet. He's coming in. I Must Feed now. Gonna go ahead and put out that stall from Anubrak with the slows. So they are gonna get the camp. Now, is anything gonna happen from it? No, Johanna's just coming in. And Johanna doesn't have Blessed Shield, so never mind. She can't look for that engage. So just a quick burn onto the Shaman. Malthael's gonna clear up in the top lane here, this siege camp that was picked up earlier. And in the bottom lane, now one more siege camp. But we see this rotation coming in, and this is a full 5-man rotation with a talent advantage. Frank's Furters looking for a kill. Rain of Vengeance is going to go out, and Nubrak's basically just saying, you know what, I can't do anything here. I can't get into this. So he's got to try to look to provide some help here. Big impale, that was huge. Vala might actually make it out alive now. Indecisive, not going to be so lucky though. What a huge kill from the Malthael. But the counter kill onto the Vala from the Li Ming. Garrosh going down, and they're looking for this Johanna. They get the stun. Malthael has that damage over time, just consistently doing damage, and the shield from Johanna not going to get anywhere, although she did finish subdue. And you know what? If you're going to die, getting the subdue completed is okay. Right? I mean, it's better than 0. But huge value there from Ida's feet, turning around a fight that looked like it was going to be a full team wipe. I fully, well, not a full team wipe, a 4-man wipe. I expected that to be 5 people from Fangs coming in and just obliterating the team that was there. But really good job on them to, you know, to disengage, find themselves a good position, and ultimately then flank in and have a pincher maneuver there. And Korix with that impale really set that all up. Because without that stun from a Nubrak, Vala dies, and then all of this goes a completely different direction. Sylvanas is going to go back and tap. And Li Ming can poke this out pretty well, so... I mean, they can't... This dancing around party thing is not going to do anybody any favors on the side of I Must Feed. Got 11 stacks on Vala, so she's getting more damage. But needs 20 to get the additional proc off of the bounce, so to speak. And this... Frank's Furters wins this all day long. Like, they will wait until the end of time if I Must Feed will let them. They've got a talent advantage. If they take too long, they've got map pressure. And they've got Li Ming, who can just casually walk in and just get a couple thousand damage per attack. This is it. You got to go in. You can't use the cocoon and not do it. He's looking for the burrow charge, though, but didn't get it here. Gonna get a lot of damage onto Oriole. Not enough to kill her, though. The taunt going out onto Malthael is gonna get the kill there. Garrosh is still very low, though, if anybody can get over to him, but not quite. Lister Fiend on Vala, however, is gonna be the second kill. And that was just... again, I mean, if you're gonna engage, you gotta engage. You can't just waste it and hope that the enemy team is gonna poke their head out for you. Garrosh is going to catch the beetle. He's going to throw him away. Not going to let him get any damage onto the boss here. That's going to be the third, I think, Immortal of the game, going over to Frank's Furters here. I Must Feed needs to find these fights that they want at the right time. And right now, they're finding fights. They're winning some of these fights. In fact, they're ahead in kills, but they're finding them at the wrong time. Right. And Oriole, speaking of fights and at the right time. Level 16s here for Frank's Furters, and they're overall, I mean, they're in control of this game. You don't have to win the fights if you win the Immortals and get all of the map pressure because of it. And I think a Nubrak dies here. Yeah, the Immortal gonna get him stunned as well. So, you know, Sylvanas is up in the top lane trying to catch him up in XP, but if they keep staggering deaths, I mean, this might very well be the end of the game here. Sylvanas has to come back. They're down a quarter level from getting level 16s, but this is it. I mean, the Immortal's still pretty healthy, and Hyperion onto the core, 60%, 40%. There's the silence coming out from the Sylvanas, but it's just not enough, as game number 1 gonna go over to the Frank's Furters. Nine kills to 9, but it didn't look that way on the structures. That was, there were a lot of team fights that I Must Feed was able to pick up and win, but they got them at times when, I don't want to say they didn't matter, because it allowed them to kind of push back a little bit. but they weren't able to get much siege potential out of it. They didn't get the immortals out of it. They got halftime out of one of them, but then they couldn't quite get the next play. Couldn't take that next step that they needed to get where they needed to go. There are your talents here. A good game by both teams. Both of these teams had a lot of value in this map. It's just that Frank's Furters had slightly better timing, and on BOE, timing is everything. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and take a short break while we wait to hear back from the teams on where we're going for game number 2. So we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Impressive, Archer. But you'll need to do better than that.
You have no idea what I am capable of.
Good. Because you must be ready for anything.
Yield!
You show promise, Hanzo. Well done. But greater challenges still await us.
I believe we are ready.
It's time to find out.
Alrighty, welcome back everybody. I just noticed that apparently I did not actually identify who Indecisive was playing. That was an Oriole. I thought I did put that in, but apparently not. All right, so we are getting prepared for game number 2. We're just missing a player, so hopefully they'll be back here soon. Currently, the score 1-0 in favor of the Franks Furters. Find out what's taking them so long here. There we go. Well, hopefully, anyways. They've got a pending player. How you guys doing tonight? I noticed that a few people left after our earlier Zul'jin Distillery and Church of Murky game. So I'm not even sure who all is still here with us. Probably only the best people. Alpha Best Caster 2020. You know what? Alpha is a fantastic caster. She's got great insight. Apparently one of the teams is digging a well to get water. Alright, so what do we got? We got Ronan letting the Oriole through. Got big... What is that? Cries? Bible Thump? Emote Bible Thump. Why is that Bible Thump? I'm so confused by this. Huh. Alright, well, anyways. Looks like we've got both of our teams now. Everybody's all set up and ready to go. Where are we going, by the way? Let me go ahead and put that up here. Looks like we are going to go to Cursed Hollow. This was the selection of I Must Feed, so get that put up there. Starting it up. 3, 2, 1. Oh, shit. Well, we're ready. Both teams said they were ready, although one of them was a moment after I saw an R. I thought that was from the other team. Let your captain say that you're ready, folks. That way it's not confusing. There's not extra readies going out. There's not extra spam. If you're gonna make the caster be your host, treat him nice. Alright, so sticking with the same bands, we got Lunara, we got ETC. Last time, it was Greymane. And the Zul'jin. Are we sticking with that? Or are we going with the Oriole? I don't know. I don't feel like Oriole was necessarily the linchpin in everything there, so yeah, they seem to agree. They're like, whatever. If you want the Oriole, we'll deal with it. And they'll take it. I mean, Oriole still, she's so strong. I mean, Rez is just such a good ultimate. We'll see how they do. Deathwing is going to get picked up here. And they take the Leoric with it, so they're not going to be able to get that counter life drain chaos that causes so much difficulty for the Deathwing. And there's no Greymane. So at least your two most commonly picked ones. Now there's still the Malthael. We could see Malthael going over the Franks Furters. But it's going to be Dahaka and Johanna. So sticking with the Johanna there, and then DJ Coldcuts going into the Dahaka is going to be able to zip around the map. Going to provide them potentially a little bit of an XP advantage. But also Deathwing can zip around the map. Not quite as quickly though, right? He's got that 10-second cooldown. But he can, while he's in the air, keep somebody from channeling. And now we're going to see the Orphea ban. That's an interesting ban. She does have some long-range poke. I don't think, like, she doesn't have anything to offer with an Eternal Feast without the Mosh Pit. And it's going to be Stukov. I think that's who they banned out the last game. No? No, that was somebody else. Never mind. They banned out the Deathwing last game, of course. Alright, coming in with the Kael'thas. And Anduin. Kael'thas, Lister Fiend. Alright, so only Miles left to pick. So are they playing Deathwing as their tank, or is Miles going to pick up a tank? Or is Miles going to pick up something to go in the opposite lane? Playing Deathwing as the tank is a little bit of a challenge. So it's going to be the Raynor once again. And there's the Malthael that I mentioned. So I think that it's going to have to be Salvation from Anduin, maybe? A lot of ways to interrupt it, but if you time it right, you can potentially save somebody from the last rites. Unless you get something else. Okay, so it's going to be another Bruiser, looking for that additional solo lane. So last rites is just going to kill somebody, and it's going to do work against the Deathwing, it's going to do work against the Leoric and the Sonya. If they can get any of those low, which they've got the Raynor for the sustained damage. Malthael does % damage on his trait. I think this is a tall order for I Must Feed. I think that the Franks look like they've got this one. Just based on the draft. But enough about what I think. What do you guys think? There's a poll posted in chat up there at the top right of your screen. Who wins game number 2? Is it going to be I Must Feed with the Deathwing and the Water Cooler portraits? Or is it going to be the Franks Furters and their complete mishmash of portraits? Vote in chat. Make sure that you drop down. You hit the team that you believe will win this game. Hit vote. Otherwise, it won't count. On the left, it's I Must Feed. Gotta get that button. There we go. It's going to be I Must Feed on the left here. Miles going to be playing the Sonya. John Goodman on the Leoric. Corix playing the Deathwing. We got Anduin on, played by Sudden Bears. And Lister Fiend on the Kael'thas. Over here to the right, we got Frank's Furters. It's going to be DJ Cold Cuts on the Dahaka. Dallying Pig on the Johanna. Boggs on the Raynor. Indecisive playing the Oriole. And Malthael going to be played by Magic Master. All right, what do we got out of Dahaka here? Tissue regeneration, so going to get that additional essence and healing, self-healing from his regeneration, his just baseline regen. A little bit of a fight here in the middle, mostly just to clear up the lane and send everybody out, as Sonya and Dahaka already off to their respective locations. Did I say Sonya and Dahaka? Sonya and Deathwing. Dahaka does come down into the bot lane as he's got the global. We'll be able to head up to the top, but Lyric's going to come in, is going to get drag into the towers. And Dahaka, now sitting pretty low, does have a gravity lapse. Can they get it? Oh, so close. But the essence is going to be enough to keep Dahaka alive. All right, so Deathwing switching forms there into Worldbreaker. Oh my goodness. So it looks like Dahaka getting the pull onto Leoric, pulling him into the wall there. And we did get one vote from chat, so we're up to 100% for I Must Feed. So once again, chat believing in the I Must Feed combination here. So we have Draconic Might. Auto attack's gonna give additional healing, but also the Deathwing Protect for 3/4 of a second after he loses one of those armor plates, which apparently he did a little bit ago because he's sitting at 30. Rotation up from Raynor, so we'll see if Raynor can help the Malthael to get some additional pressure here. Let's check down in the bot lane as the Dahaka versus Leoric with that siege camp going. Siege camp probably picked up a little bit early, but with the Deathwing so far forward here, we're going to see Raynor and Malthael get that Deathwing up under half of his level, half of his health. Words are hard, ladies and gentlemen. And see, the Bruiser camp going to be picked up here, so camp pressure is definitely going over in favor of I Must Feed at this point. They have the Sonya to really be able to burn those down. I want to see them hold this a moment, but it's actually probably best that they didn't, because here comes the Frank's Furters with a 3-man rotation in, so I'm kind of surprised to see Sonya just say, you know, nah, let's do this, but they just wanted the camp. Leoric's gonna have to Wraith Walk away here. DJ Coldcut's fairly low, but does have the essence. But again, he can do that global, so he'll be able to get up here. He's not gonna have a whole lot of essence though. He's digging already, so he's already up here. Can we get the stall? We do have Deathwing coming down. He doesn't have Skyfall yet, so his only interrupt was using his own body. Lands in the form, the melee form, switches over to the Worldbreaker form there. But the Detainment Strike going out onto Leoric. Living Bombs, however, being spread on the back line of the Frankfurters here. And apparently there was a couple minions that made it away there, so the Mage didn't make it through, but still some value. So that's going to have to be taken care of by Raynor. And now, with that Worldbreaker form here, we see the zoning potential coming out from Deathwing as we get the kill from Kael'thas onto the Malthael up above there. And the first tribute of the game going to go over to I Must Feed. 1 kill to 1 kill now, as Raynor going to make it a second kill. Quick rotation in. And we did see here DJ Coldcut's coming down into the bot lane, making use of that Brush Stalker. Now they showed this here with that Divine Star from the Anduin. So this suddenly became a whole lot riskier. Dahaka's coming in. They're getting flanked with the Johanna coming from behind. Deathwing is going to land in on this, so this is full on 5-on-5. John Goodman falling very low. The Incinerate coming out from Dahaka. He's going to put out the Flame Breath. But Leoric falling as well, so 1 for 1 so far, as Malthael's gonna be the next here. DJ Coldcuts is getting low, doesn't have any essence, I don't believe here. Cataclysm coming out, looking for the Dahaka, but it's not in the right place. And a successful, not only camp invade, but getting 2 kills as well. Flame Strike coming out, not gonna be close enough to Dahaka, but the tribute is spawning. And Malthael will at best be late here. What's Kael'thas doing? Oh, he's Hearthing. That makes sense. But level 7's available for both teams now, so Deathwing does have the ability to fly up. He probably will now after tapping, yeah. That's going to regenerate his armor plates. He's sitting at 10. But he didn't take Skyfall, so he's not going to be able to interrupt these. But what he does do is when he lands on them, reduce their spell armor, and his cooldowns can be used basically immediately. It's like 1 second then. But he's got to actually land on people here. Does have that Earth Shatter from the Deathwing. Here comes the fire going out onto Raynor. Raynor just melting. And Dahaka around behind trying to stall out, but he's not really able to get into a good position. So that's going to be the second tribute now going over to I Must Feed. And they took the XP lead, sitting a good third of a level or so ahead. And with that, they're going to get onto the boss camp. They feel very strong about their position. And this is really solid if they can take this. They're going to get potentially level 10 first, and that next tribute is Curse Point. So taking this boss would give them pressure in the bot lane while fighting over that tribute. If they can get it. It takes a little bit. So can they rotate up quickly enough to get this tribute? And they got level 10s here in just a moment. Here it is. So I don't know. Well, Kael'thas isn't here. He stayed to get that XP. And all 5 of Frank's Furters are here. But right now, I Must Feed is not really collective. So level 10s from both sides now. It is going to be the Resurrect, the Hyperion, the Blessed Shield, Isolation, and the Last Rites. as expected. The tongue going out, missing. Here's the spooky hand. Gonna go ahead and duck underneath that as the Deathwing coming in. They've got the Entomb onto Oriole. The stun coming out as well. She's gonna go ahead and use that hope. Sonya spinning to win, and Oriole gonna make it out, but Sonya's gonna get taken out first here. DJ Coldcut sitting on the Anduin needs to have some help here as the Cataclysm coming out from the Deathwing. And there, it looks like they're gonna go ahead and disengage here. The stun coming out from Deathwing, but the last right's gonna get the kill onto Leoric. But in the meantime, Boss taking the bottom fort. And they'll get a little bit of damage here on the wall. So that's actually, I mean, that's a good trade. They get the fort for a death onto, I guess, 2, right? Sonya dying? Yeah. So 2 kills in trade for a fort. And it's in the bot lane. So that's where ultimately I Must Feed would prefer, because that's where their boss is. That's the easier side for them to pick up additional map pressure later in the game. The next point here, though, is on the side of Frank's Furters, and it's probably the most easily defended. So we'll see how that works out. On the side of I Must Feed, however, we've got that Cataclysm, the Phoenix, I'm sorry, Burn Beneath My Shadow, the upgrade to Cataclysm. Right? That didn't just switch? Okay, yeah. The Phoenix, the Entomb, the Light Bomb, and the Wrath of the Berserker. So can they set this up and get the kill onto the Malthael? There's the Gravity Lapse, the stun missing from the Deathwing. But it didn't matter. And now this is a 5-on-4. This is a big play here. Cataclysm's going to come out. It's going to zone out the entire team, but Anduin needs to start channeling. Somebody needs to start channeling. The Light Bomb's going to go out. He's going to duck out of it, though, as the Entomb did block out, too. They get the Curse here, and they're still going. They got the kill onto the Rainer, but there's the Resurrect here. Hope used. DJ Coldcut's now falling low. Has a Living Bomb. Could spread it. Does spread it to the Oriole, but it's going to be Dahaka falling. Now they're looking for the Oriole. Sonya chasing her down, but Boggs doing good work there. John Goodman, however, not so lucky with that last rites, as the Black Harvest completed now for Malthael. And looking for more onto the Deathwing. And I think ultimately they chased a little, obviously they chased a little too hard for those kills. Once they won the tribute and pushed Frank's Furters back, they could have pulled back and, you know, soaked each of these lanes. They're gonna get the top fort. I don't think they're gonna get the bottom, but they do get some damage here in the mid. They do get some damage into the bottom here. Pretty significant amount of minions coming in to get damage onto this. So I don't know if Rainer even has it in him to get this down before the minions can do this. The minions are going to get distracted, so maybe it's fine. Why are they even here? What is happening? All right, well, they get the kill onto Sonya here. Leoric is draining on the Malthael. We see the last right, so Leoric going to fall again. So a triple kill here for Frank's Furters, make it a quad kill. They do lose the bottom keep for that, but they're gonna get a boss now and start. This level 10 is when Frank's Furters really comes online, and so I don't know. I Must Feed has to be super careful. They don't have any way to negate the last rites. The only chance they had was taking the salvation, so that puts them in a really awkward place. Malthael can just stick onto Deathwing, and I don't think there's much he can really do about it if Malthael's, you know, good about positioning. So we'll see. The boss should be able to be cleared relatively easily. 20 seconds until the bot boss, though. So it wouldn't surprise me. Oh, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I was going to say, it wouldn't surprise me to see them just rotate down and take it. And this goes into the core. So yeah, I was going to say, I kind of expect to see Frank's Furters say, hey, let's go clean that boss up. Let's go get that. Because they got to know, right? I mean, especially with Deathwing leaving the boss on the top. Here they come. And oh, man, I think the Bellowing Roar might have been the better call, too. They don't know that they're here. Oh, my goodness. This could be such a huge play for MSV. There's the Entomb with Deathwing coming right down onto them. So far, nobody dead, though. The blind going out onto John Goodman here. The kill onto Malthael. No last rites used, but Johanna going to come down next. Cataclysm coming out as Anduin keeping John Goodman alive forever here. DJ Coldcut's falling low, but Oriel's going to get the resurrection onto Malthael, looking for that last rites for sure. But they're going to get the full disengage here, so ultimately traded out 2 kills for 1, but nets out to 4 versus 4 as the resurrect used there to keep to get Malthael up. And that was a great play. I mean, that was a great choice to bring up the Malthael, even though, you know, your front line is limited, because Malthael could have killed any one of those targets if they kept that fight going. But that was a fantastic and patient play from I Must Feed, and it almost went absolutely perfectly. What do we have here for... So it is the Q build here. So now with this level 16, if he takes the Flame Breath... Is it Fire Breath? Molten Flame. So if he takes the Molten Flame upgrade, that basically becomes a second Living Bomb. But they're going to be a little bit late to get down here and take this boss, it looks like. But that's okay. They can defend this. The next tribute's up in the top half of the map, so that's, you know, certainly value here for Frank's Furters. But Frank's Furters is now going to get the next Bruiser camp here, and the more pressure they put into this, the more value there is. You know, cleaning up these camps is very important so that the pressure can go in the bot lane. We see that Deathwing here has 10 armor. He needs to get his armor plates back, and there he goes. And again, keep in mind, he doesn't have Skyfall, so he cannot stall out this tribute unless he lands on them. Boss will end up falling. It won't do too much damage here. So here comes the Entomb going out onto Dahaka. He uses the burrow, is able to move out. Sonya popping the Wrath of the Berserker, spinning away. Deathwing coming into the back line. The big stun light bomb coming out onto Malthael. He should be coming back. He is coming back, but they get the counter kill onto Kael'thas, and with Malthael coming back now, this is a dangerous place. The channel being started there by Raynor, but it's going to get interrupted as Dahaka falling, Malthael falling as well, but Deathwing going down. Make it a triple kill here for I Must Feed, and it's just the Raynor and Oriel here. Sonya looking to go in, but gets interrupted out of her whirlwind. Has to be careful so they don't lose a curse. And the Bruiser camp is gone now, so Siege camp up in the top lane will get some push there. And there's still catapults in the bottom lane here. Now, this is a free camp. And because of that vision there, Raynor's going to catch that. He's able to pull away. In theory, I think that this should be a tribute for I Must Feed. I think they can get that. Oh, but the Entomb going out, the knockback here. But the Light Bomb is going to get value, and Oriel's going to go down, which means that this is all but certain for I Must Feed to pick this up, especially with Deathwing now up in the air. He can land at any point, anytime he's got vision. Resurrect is used, so for 75 seconds now, that's out. And that is the advantage that I Must Feed needs to take a fight. Like, I wouldn't even, yeah, I was going to say, I wouldn't even mind if they came in here. There's no Resurrect. Here comes Deathwing onto the point. He's unstoppable. They can't take him out. Magic Master getting just brought so low here is going to make it for another moment. Last Rites going out isn't going to get a kill. It's a triple kill. Leoric getting his, I don't even know the name, Mithril Mace completed, so he's got all the extra auto attacks. Entomb not quite able to get onto the Oriel. And they're working on the wall here. They've got now the tribute coming up in level 20s. I Must Feed is looking in a very good position right now. And they're going to rotate down through the bottom lane, and this is what I was hoping they were going to do. They're going to head right to the core. They've got a huge catapult wave here, too. They just need to clear up the minions so these catapults get close enough to actually do damage to the core. And this core is falling quickly. Here comes the Cataclysm. 20 seconds until the 3 dead heroes return, and it's not enough. Game number 2 going to go over to I Must Feed. All right, so I'm going to let our other teams know that we just got into a third game here. let's see. I mean, they may be watching, so they may know, but gotta find. Okay, FY going to game 3 starting soon. Okay. All right, just let them know for our next matchup here that we are going into game 3. So there was a 10 o'clock game, 10 o'clock Eastern game between Piecemeal and Tidecaller Murgles, and I said, you know what, it's the only game that's not being cast, so maybe we can pick that up if this, you know, gets done quickly enough. Clearly it's not, right? Because 10 o'clock is coming right up. But they said that they were willing to kind of, you know, work around it. Obviously, you know, folks, if it takes too long, certainly start your game and we'll work it out later. But if you guys are comfortable, it is a West matchup. So, I mean, if you guys are comfortable with, you know, waiting for that third round, then that's fine. All right, they want first pick, so Corix, they want first pick, so you get a pick. All right, letting them know what we get here. All right, so they're gonna decide what they want. Make sure that the, okay, got the response there. Okay, cool, so they're all set. All right, so let's take a look at our maps here as we get a response. Oh, goody. All right. All right, so get them into here. Let's see. So our third game is going to be on Towers of Doom. And it was the selection of I Must Feed. And we're gonna take just a very short break here, probably about a minute, minute and a half, as we get everything set up for the team. So we'll be right back. Alrighty, we are back. Looks like we've got one side ready. Just waiting on number 2, and then we can get this. Okay. We'll be ready in a minute. Let's take a look again at our maps here and the standings. So maps, we started off with the bans from I Must Feed on Dragonshire and Volskaya Foundry. We saw the bans from Frank's Furters on Alterac Pass and Sky Temple. Our first map was Battlefield of Eternity, that was picked by the I Must Feed and won by Frank's Furters. Then game number 2 on Cursed Hollow was picked and won by I Must Feed. Game number 3 here is going to be Towers of Doom. Is the selection of I Must Feed. Our standings here. So again, I Must Feed currently tied with Bancho. Although, with that point that they just took, that will tie them up now with Zul'jin Distillery. Frank's Furters sitting at 10 points, but with the first game that they got, that ties them up with Nexus Cats. Hey, Wolf. Arrow's doing great, buddy. We're having a grand old time. We're on match number 2 out of 3 tonight. Hopefully not too much longer here so that we can get things moving forward and get on to our next match. All right, our teams are ready to go. Here we go. All right. I have my lovely co-caster, Alpha, gonna help me out tonight. I expect we'll see more of the ETC Lunara Greymane Zul'jin. It's worked out. Is there anything more, like, anything funnier than watching a dog just stretch out? Like, they're just so, like, it just feels so good, right? Alice hates it when I stretch. If I was to stretch right now, she would just go absolutely bonkers. Hey, we're gonna see the Deathwing ban a little bit earlier this time. All right, so Greymane left on the table, and they're gonna lock that Oriole once again, right away. Oop, that's not what I meant, right? And speaking of Greymane, Greymane making his first appearance of the night. We're gonna see if all of those bans onto Greymane were justified here. Is Greymane gonna carry the team tonight? Ooh, we're going into a new tank here. We're gonna see the Diablo. And picking up with the Orphea. So Orphea was banned out last game. So a Crushing Jaws could really go well to set up with the Apocalypse. Eternal Feast could potentially as well if they can get some way to start that combo. Third and final ban here. Is it going to be... Yeah, okay. The same as game number 1 there, so... And what do we see out of Frank's Furters here? So Stukov again, potentially? I think it'll be Stukov. I think Stukov would be a pretty big value hero here for I Must Feed. I try, Wolf. I try. It's going to be Kael'thas, though, actually. That's fair. You know what? Kael'thas can do a lot of work here. Wolf, I tell you what, man. I imagine that my casting will slow down a little bit as, you know, with the new WoW content patch coming out. I'll have some things to do. I haven't even touched it yet. I got to do that. Normally tonight's a raid night, but because of the overlap, it's not. So, but you know, just trying to get as many casts as we can for people. going to be Garrosh here, going to be the 4th pick. What else are we going to see? So, oh, it's Boggs. It's going to be Raynor. This will be the time he doesn't take Raynor. Yeah, okay. All right, last pick. What's our other damage? Is it Sylvanas? It's got to be Sylvanas, right? They played it game 1, right? Didn't they? Yeah, with the Bala. Oh, it's Jaina. Okay, all right, fair enough. Jaina works really well into the garage, so I don't mind that at all. I think Sylvanas could have been really good as well. They could have made use of that double soak value from Leoric, and I think that the Leoric could have pushed them ahead of Frank's Furters with that soak potential. They would have had a really strong 4-man to push between that Greymane and Jaina. They'd be able to clear camps very quickly. Or I'm sorry, Greymane and Sylvanas. And they'd actually have more potential push power. But Jaina provides a little bit more team fight, so still can do all of the same things here. So who wins game number 3? Between I Must Feed and Frank's Furters. Vote in chat up at the top right of your screen. Up there. Hit the drop down, select your team, hit vote. If you don't hit vote, your vote doesn't count. Let's get our teams introduced. On the right, it's gonna be the Frank's Furters. We got Dallying Pig playing the Diablo, DJ Cold Cuts on the Garrosh, Indecisive on the Oriole, Magic Master on the Orphea, and Boggs once again on the Raynor.
3, 2, 1.
On the left, we've got Miles playing the Greymane here, John Goodman on the Leoric, Corix playing Johanna, Lister Fiend on the Jaina, and Sudden Bears once again on that Anduin. Alright, so taking a look here, the only stacking quest we've got is Fingers of Frost. The throw onto Johanna, she doesn't really mind that so much, but the flip onto the Greymane is a little bit more dangerous. The Detainment Strike just a little bit too late there to catch Greymane. We are going to see that Wrecking Ball, and again, we saw in game number 1 the Wrecking Ball plus Detainment Strike gives a lot of potential value for a pick. And it looks like Frank's Furters electing for the moment not to go through, and ultimately I think they lost a little bit of XP because of that. They got some of it, but yeah, they're 400 behind at this point. So the race potential, the wave clear potential rather, definitely in favor of I Must Feed. Quite a bit at this point, because really the only wave clear that that Frank's Furters has is the Orphea, so they're just really gathering the XP at the walls. So the question is, do we see an invade here? This is a tough place. You've got the Garrosh that can throw people out, and you got the Diablo, but they don't have a lot of damage. Raynor's up in the top. He is rotating down. Leoric is going to hold that backside, so they're not coming in. I Must Feed coming in. 3rd vote in a row. Can they do it? We'll just have to see. Oh, Diablo. Flipping him into the tower. All right, well, there you go. The whole wall and the tower taken out there between those two camps. Diablo maybe considering the flip onto the Johanna, but not quite able to get into the position needed for that. And Leoric's going to get that spooky hand out on a Raynor. So, you know, this fight definitely goes in favor of Raynor, but, I mean, realistically, yeah, I was going to say, you take Neopescence, you don't even have to worry about that, right? Leoric no longer ever wants to see Raynor. He just wants to grab the soak in these lanes to keep his team ahead. But we'll see. We'll see. What did he take here? Consume Vitality, so getting additional healing when he hits heroes. And here comes this triple altar phase. Both teams sitting even on the XP at this point. Very close to even, at least. Very slight advantage to I Must Feed. And it looks like we are going to have the primary fight in the bot lane here is Greymane getting flipped. The Condemn coming out. They've got a good route there onto the Garrosh. That's a lot of damage to try to put into somebody that gets increasing armor. They also do have that Oriole to keep the healing up, and the defend calls off to the side here. Corix doesn't have a lot of mana, though. This is a very difficult position for Johanna to be in. Can't really zone for the team, as Lister Fiend is going to get thrown and taken out. It's going to be the first blood. Magic is going to fall next, so both of the mages going down here. But they're not done. Especially, again, with Johanna being so out of mana here. I think Johanna just needs to go tap, and the team needs to try to poke this out. As Lyric's going to get thrown here, he doesn't have a whole lot of health and is going to be taken out. So that, I think at this point now, is going to give these points over to Frank's Furters. 2-1 on the altar count there. Orphea up in the top lane gathering soak. Now Raynor down in the bot here. But again, at this point, like, if Leoric can double soak, even if he loses some of the minions, like, he doesn't have to get every single minion. He can still provide just as much, if not more, value. And if they have to bring 2 people to soak, which they would have to, because there's no way they can do it, then he's in great position. They throw the Johanna onto the point. DJ Cold Cuts here, sitting at about half health, has to pull back. Orphea's still in the top. No ultimates, though, so there's nothing to help them complete this. But a successful camp invade here from the I Must Feed team. And Orphea, all the while, did get that camp up in the top lane, so she's going to keep a little bit of pressure top. But again, I mean, structures are important, but only so much, right? As long as you have the structure up, it's fine. And Leoric should be able to rotate between these lanes, gather all this XP. Yeah, look at that. One hit, 80% of their health gone. And if Franks has to dedicate 2 people or significant rotations to gather the same XP that Leoric can do, then that opens up the opportunity for I Must Feed to just push hard down bot lane, get all that XP, continue to get these camps, and ultimately get that fort. But Leoric's up in the top right now. And this is everybody from Frank's Furters. Leoric needs to get down here fast. The Leap of Faith is going to come out and save the Jaina here. Johanna uses that Iron Skin, so unstoppable down for another 15 seconds or so here. Stall coming out, so Orphea is going to get interrupted, and here comes the push. They're looking for the Garrosh, the throw, and then something else. I don't even know what happened. Miles now getting very low on the Greymane, has to pull back, nearly dying to the Flame Stomp. So I think what happened was Garrosh threw him at the same time that Diablo tried to flip him, and so it just pulled him back. But Leoric going in fully by himself ends up getting a kill onto Raynor, so it worked. Altar still available. Corix getting the 4-man Condemn, but gets thrown away from the team, now trying to isolate the Diablo. Diablo shadow charging in onto Anduin to keep him from channeling here, but it's going to be Magic Master falling next. And it could be Dallying Pig, the throw, keeping Dallying Pig alive. They want to get this kill onto Diablo. Can they do it? The life drain doing so much work, but he's got to Wraith Walk out of there because the tower is still up. And that's going to even out the score now. 32 apiece. And level 10s coming up for I Must Feed. So we got that Entomb, the Light Bomb, the Ring of Frost, Blessed Shield, and the Cursed Bullet. And because of those kills and the level 10 advantage here, they've got a Greymane. They can push down this bottom fort very quickly. And Towers of Doom is a map that can both snowball. Well, really, it can snowball in either direction. Well, there's the throw onto Leoric. He's going to get the Unstoppable to Wraith Walk away, but he does take that Dread damage. It's going to be a kill onto Leoric. The Crushing Jaws coming out onto the Greymane. Everybody's hanging on to the point. Johanna's sitting here, but DJ Coldcut's fallen very low, is going to be the one to fall next. Oriole getting very low, has a full Hope Bar, but they can't pull Johanna off the point. She's taking so much damage, though. Everybody's so low on both sides. They get a couple more kills. Dallying Pig the next. And Leoric's coming back, so this is now Leoric versus, well, it's going to be 3, so Leoric's got to get out of here. Raynor, all the while in the middle, getting the XP, says, hey, you know what, I don't even need to be in this fight. So I Must Feed getting a little bit confident, perhaps a little bit too confident in their ability to control these points, and end up losing that fight pretty handily. And the resurrect making it even a little bit less favorable. Bottom fort should go over, so this will be back to 4-4 on the structures. XP very slightly in favor here of Frank's Furters, but I don't think they get level 13. Johanna's going to slow everybody down, but she has the Iron Skin to pull her back. Lyric should be able to channel that. The question is, does Johanna die in payment? But it's going to be the Leap of Faith and then the Blessed Shield going out. So Lyric is able to channel. That's 4 points going over here. Wolf. The Entomb now just missing the Oriole there. The throw onto Lyric, but Garrosh brought very low here. Crushing Jaws is going to hit onto the Greymane rather. And Greymane's going to get taken out, but so is Garrosh. Anduin as well. And John Goodman here trying to drain to stay alive, but isn't going to be able to make it. So a 3 for 2 as Resurrect bringing back 1. Jaina using that ice block. Can they get the kill onto the... They can't. They can't. Level 13s came up for Frank's Furters in that. So once again, our score is going to even out. So the point that I was going to make was simply that this is a map that you can snowball pretty heavily on. If you're able to hold on to towers, obviously the more towers you have, the more shots you get. So it's very easy to keep that train going. But it's also the reverse. It's very easy to come back on this map. Leoric coming in, looking for that Entomb. The throw out onto Oriole, so they do get the Entomb here, the Blessed Shield as well to lock him down, and the Light Bomb pulling him in, getting a double stun here. Oriole gonna get taken down. Can they get the Diablo as well? He's just so tanky. 96 souls, so he's not coming back right away, which is probably okay. I mean, they were gonna lose this either way. But he'll be back up by the next objective. But I'm not sure he'll be back up by the time this siege camp is picked up. Oh, Greymane. Why aren't you guys getting the siege camp? Points are better than people. Alright, fair enough. They are getting the siege camp. Just not as I thought they would. Now, Leoric and Greymane, I don't know how that goes into this. They're just going to clear this up. Altar is coming up here. The defense is here. I don't want to see them fight here. Like, the siege camp is great. It's points if you get it through. They're not going to get it through here. And I would have preferred to see them stay like in this general area, right? Force them to try to fight in a choke point that you can disengage from because they can't get through the fort. Thank you, Corix. That's, well, no, you're going too far. Go back, go back. Oh, they're gonna take the fight. They get the ring out onto Garrosh here, and he doesn't have the unstoppable, so he just dies. But he's coming back. Got an Entomb going out. It's gonna be the flip, putting Leoric in the middle of the Entomb. Feels a little bit awkward being thrown into your own Entomb. 28-23 the score now. I Must Feed getting that extra point from having the fort. And they just burn through that siege camp so quickly. Next is a triple altar phase, though. And level 16s are coming up for I Must Feed. They're already here for Frank's Furters. And there's an extra stun now on the side of Frank's Furters. They got that Garrosh Wrecking Ball that provides a brief stun. Could be enough to lock down heroes. I was going to say, they're looking for this kill onto Garrosh, but Anduin all by himself. But Garrosh up in the top here, they're going to get the Entomb out onto the Orphea. She's going to go down. Blessed Shield going out as well. Diablo getting just deleted here. And Leoric's going to get the slow onto Oriole. They don't have a minion wave here, so they can't really keep pushing this too hard. But getting that double kill, resetting Diablo on his souls is absolutely huge. And this is a triple altar phase. They will have Orphea up, but she won't be there quite in time. Ring of Frost is going to go out. It doesn't hit anybody, though. The Cursed Bullet going out and Oriole dying now is even better for them. They're going to be... Well, they got to finish the thing here. Oh, Oriel's coming back. She's got that resurrect. Always the resurrect. So Rainer's up in the top lane, so he should be able to get theirs pretty easily. And it doesn't look like we're going to see a push in from Frank's Furters. Oh, what a chastise! Holy cow! Sudden Bears with the big brain plays. But it's 2 tanks against 2 ranged DPS here, with friends coming, and I Must Feed is taking the safer route. Oh, yeah, just, okay, good night. Charge with the Diablo over the wall here. And there's no resurrect. This Leoric is as dead as Loki. Ice block gonna be used here. Blessed Shield going out. There's the Crushing Jaws is gonna delete the Garrosh. Blessed Hammer's coming out. They're looking for that Light Bomb shield here onto Jaina. They do get it, but it's not going to be enough. So a triple kill. Now that's going to be the altar and probably a boss. And maybe a Johanna kill even. Maybe not. She's beefy. Leoric is back. So we've got 2 tanks and a healer. So 4 points coming up from the boss here soon. That's going to put now Frank's Furters in the lead. 19-16. And I like what I Must Feed is doing. They know they're there. There's nothing they can do to stop it, so they're going to do the next best thing. They're going to start working back onto this bottom fort, because this is the most valuable fort in the game. Although, next altars are both up in the top lane here, so top lane is going to be more valuable. And we got 3 points coming in shortly here from Raynor. The trade in forts definitely favors I Must Feed. So we'll see how this works out. They got to get up there and deal with the siege camp. Somebody's got to make it up to this point, or do they have, the minion wave will stall it out for a moment. So they should be able to clear it. That's gonna, both teams then gonna go ahead and rotate in. They both have points on the board coming their way. And it's going to be a little bit faster here for Frank's Furters to deal with theirs than for I Must Feed to get theirs back. Not as many minions either. Level 20 is coming up soon, slightly ahead for Frank's Furters. Mostly because of those 2 additional kills, but this game is still extremely close. It would not surprise me if this game was a 1 point difference. This is super aggressive. They don't have their gray main. Guys, you got to communicate. Apocalypse coming out, but it's going to be Orphea. Oh, she gets thrown out thanks to Into the Fray. But Dallying Pig here getting brought low by the gray main. One more shot is going to do it. Is it going to be the resurrect? Oh, she waits for the level 20, right? No, she doesn't. Oh, man. All right, going for the aggressive here. Magic Master falling low. We do see the counter kills onto Greymane and Jaina, though. John Goodman, the next one getting very low, is going to get taken out. A triple kill. And that's going to give them both altars again. And, I mean, I don't know. I think they might even be able to just get another fort. Rather than limiting themselves to the 8 points, I think they probably could have taken a top fort with the 40 additional seconds that they had, because there's not much for them to do now, right? They're going to rotate down into bottom and clear this up. So Oriel could have waited another literally 1 second. They were so close to level 20 and picked this up. She would have had another resurrect. Orphea could be on the board if they, you know, wanted to do that at this point. And it literally wouldn't have cost them anything, because they were already right there. So we got Indestructible here for Johanna. Tooth and Claw for Greymane. This was upgraded recently, giving him the increased Razor Swipe damage as well. Ice Blink here for Jaina. Desperate Prayer, looking for those big burst heals from Anduin, and then the Buried Alive. So Buried Alive is going to provide a lot of value if they can find a good Entomb. But also we've got the Hellgate, we got the Light Speed here, reducing the cooldown on Resurrection. The Execute from Raynor, so helping if they can get people low, which they have, it's even more damage. The Titanic Might, throwing 2 people, and again, those people will be stunned as well as anybody else, and Engulfing Oblivion here. So the reduced armor, but also resetting the cooldown when anybody dies, or reducing the cooldown to 5 seconds. So this is not game, I Must Feed doesn't need to fall for this. Well, there's Hellgate passing up the Johanna. There's a big Entomb. Check it out. Garrosh going to get demolished in the background. Ring of Frost coming in. Crushing Jaws is going out. Can they get the Sudden Bears? They do. Lyric falling. Greymane falling as well. The Oriole Resurrect coming in. Magic Master so low, though. Can they get the kill? But Johanna, indestructible. Proctor, that's a 5-man mega kill coming out from Frank's Furters. Now, they need to stop this channel. Stop channeling. Get the extra points. They should have come down here, cleared this lane, pushed this up. They had Raynor, taken this out, gotten the point, gotten the altar, win the game. This game should be over right now. Boss is up in 30 seconds. And that's that. I mean, that's it. That's the next place, right? If they can go to top, they can push this down. I don't think they have enough time to take all 6 towers. The next one is in the bot lane, so that, you know, I Must Feed does want to get their towers back here. And Tomb's not going to provide any value here because the tower's shooting minions anyways. The boss is up now, though. And this is looking very good for Frank's Furters. We see the defense call for the boss. But here come the rest of the team. And this is on the side of I Must Feed. So there's no Orphea here. She's pretty far back. And Leoric doesn't have Entomb. So, like, that would have been the place for it. They needed to have that Entomb available, but he used it earlier. Johanna's going to get flipped, stunned again, thrown. I think she's just toast here. There's nothing she can do. She gets pulled in, but they get the kill onto Oriole again. She's coming right back, though, as they get the return kill onto Leoric. The flip here onto Anduin, the kill onto Greymane. Now the end of the fray on Raynor, looking for the Jaina. Uses that Ice Blink, but they're going to rotate it onto this boss, and that's going to be game number 3. Oh, what are you guys doing? Alright, well, it'll be game number 3 soon. Apparently we're instead going to wait for the altars and then the boss, which doesn't get any additional math. You know what, Jaina? I hope you get this. No, not quite enough. Alright, well, game number 3 going over to Frank's Furters in this best of 3. Alrighty, so we do, as mentioned, we do have another game coming up here in a few minutes. So we're just going to do a quick interview, just a couple questions while I get everything set up for that game. I already told the captain, so hopefully they just zip over here.
Hello.
Hey there, so Indecisive is joining us tonight, the captain, not captain of Frank's Furters. How you guys feeling after that victory?
That was exhilarating, I guess is the right word. It was really intense, and there are certainly moments where I was not feeling great in that game 3, but came out on top, and that's awesome.
So you guys were able to pick up the Oriole 3 out of 3 games, and it obviously worked really well for you in game number 2. Or I'm sorry, in game number 3. Did you even get a single res off in game number 1? Like,
no, I didn't.
I didn't think so.
One time where I thought that I could, but we didn't need it. So.
Yeah. So it really, like, to me, it felt like for I Must Feed that they didn't feel like it was impactful enough to ban out. Instead, banning out Zul'jin and Rexxar, whereas, I mean, to me, in game number 3, it was a clear showcase of the power of Oriole and the Resurrect and all of that. I did want to bring up, it didn't ultimately matter, but when you guys had that fight over the top right control or altar there, when you resurrected, I think it was Diablo, might have been Garrosh, like literally a split second later, and you could have had the level 20 cooldown reduction.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. I didn't think to wait. It just, heat of the moment in the fight, I was just like, crap, gotta res him. But I did notice as soon as I did it, I was like, oh, well, that's a thing.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, it didn't end up making any difference at all to the results, but it was just one of those moments where it's like, oh, hey, this is a thing. Let's see, what else should I ask you about? So, actually, I mean, really, these games were really fantastic to watch. Game number 3 was a thriller. Game number 1 was also, you know, you guys had control of the map in general, but they ultimately were the ones who got the kills in most of those fights. It wasn't until the very end that you guys caught up. So when you guys set up your draft for that map, obviously they were map pick all night. You know, what kind of things were you identifying so that you made sure that ultimately you were successful in winning that game?
Ban Deathwing. That was our main concern. It's just after that, you know, there was no way we wanted to let Deathwing through. And even in game 2, I was hesitant to let it through the first round of draft. But that was, to be honest, that was our only concern in draft. Other than that, was just making sure that we had picks that we were comfortable on. With the effectiveness of Garrosh in game 1, we definitely wanted to repeat that in game 3.
Well, and it worked out really well. So, you know, it was really exciting to see some of those plays. It was a little bit of a bloodbath in game number 3. So, you know, I'm glad that we got to watch that. You guys will catch my caster math later about how you could have won about 5 minutes earlier, but maybe not 5 minutes, like 3 minutes. But you'll catch that in the cast. Let's go ahead and wrap up because I've got another couple of teams here looking for a match. So any shout outs that you'd like to make?
Just my teammates, our boys, Franco, Francis, Frankie, and Frank. And yeah, that's all.
And which one are you?
I'm Francisco.
There you go. All right.
Yep.
And that's where the Frank's Furters comes from.
Yep.
Good deal. Well, thanks for joining me here tonight. Congratulations on your victory. Don't forget to report the match or have whoever on your team do that does that. And good luck with the rest of your season. Don't forget your flex matches.
Thanks. See ya.
See ya. All right, we're going to get set up for our next match between Piecemeal and Tidecaller Murgles. They're just about all set up here. I've got the map in, so we're going to do that real quick. I'm going to take just a couple minutes to get the whole scene updated and ready to go, and then we'll be right back with our third match of the night. So don't go anywhere, and thanks for joining us again.